Hi, I'm Tracy Winchester. Later this week, I'm heading to South Dakota to visit my Aunt Bunny. Over the years, I've been to Mitchell, South Dakota quite a few times to visit my aunt and my uncle, Bud Williams, who, by the way, was elected mayor of Mitchell the same year that Clint Eastwood was elected mayor of Carmel, California. Now, this is not an incredibly important piece of trivia, but I thought I would pass it along, the part about Clint Eastwood. Now, my uncle, who was a native of South Dakota and an African American, was elected in the mid-'80s around the same time that Tom Bradley was defeated in California when he ran for governor. The polls prior to the election showed Bradley winning the race, and his defeat became known as the Bradley effect, and it hovered over the Obama campaign like a bad premonition. The good news, of course, is that there was no Bradley effect. Obama won by a landslide, and so did my uncle back in 1986. Since my uncle ran in a city that was 99% white, I have to believe the critics that said the Bradley effect was really about bad polling information and not about white Americans unwilling to elect an African American. As for my trip to South Dakota, this time I'm going there with a different perspective, because this month, President Bush has declared November National American Indian Heritage Month as a way to celebrate and recognize Native Americans and Alaskan Natives in the history of our nation, as well as in society today. Now, I need to let you know that I've been told that many American Indians do not celebrate this proclamation because there are still quite a few unresolved issues between the Indian country and the United States government. Issues such as health care, law enforcement, and water projects that the first Americans are hoping to see a positive resolution under President-elect Obama's administration. I like to think that the National American Indian Heritage Month will give our nation's leaders an opportunity to closely examine the issues facing Indian country today and to find solutions to improve the quality of life for American Indians both on and off the reservations. Now, South Dakota is home to the great Sioux nations. The Lakotas, Dakotas, and Nakotas have a great heroic legacy that begins from our pioneer days through World War II, when their native tribal language was used to send secret coded messages for strategic military operations during World War I and World War II. Last month, their heroic efforts were recognized with the signing of the historic Code Talkers Recognition Act. As a member of the media, I find it interesting the lack of attention that mainstream media gives to Indian country. Sure, there are now only 4.5 million American Indians living in the United States today, a number that only represents 1.5% of our population. But the first Americans, they are our people. We are them, and they are us. The immigrants that came over on the Mayflower could not have survived without the American Indian. We all know this, but we seem only to remember this in school plays during the week of Thanksgiving. As you celebrate Thanksgiving this month, give thanks to our first Americans, and remember the proverb from the Arapaho tribe: if we wonder often, the gift of knowledge will come. I'm Tracy Winchester, and this was Your Multicultural Moment.